Hey guys, RTT back here for the video, guys. Today we have an awesome video for you. So, my video yesterday, I talked about a $2,000 budget PC build, and I got a comment saying, that's not a budget PC. Guys, everyone has their own budget. For example, I have a $4,000 NZXT T-Creator PC I just bought. That was my budget at the time of buying a PC. At the time of making that video, there was a person that asked me, hey, build a PC, $2,000. At that moment, that was the best PC for them at $2,000 budget. Today, we're going to be doing a budget of under $1,000. So again, this is all technically budget builds. It depends on what your budget is. So let's go ahead and start off right away with, again, around $1,000. I'm going to try to do under $1,000, but we'll see what we do. So starting off right away, if you want to go under $1,000, you're going to have to go for a cheaper case. You cannot go with an expensive case. And you got to save money any way you can when it comes to being under $1,000. And we're going to go ahead and just go with the cheaper case here. The cheapest case we have option-wise. Actually, you know what? No, we even have a cheaper case. We won't be able to put too much in there. 240 millimeter though. But let's go ahead and start off right away. So we're going to start off with all included case fans. Now, I'm just going to say this right now. It is not hard to change out case fans. So again, this is a budget build under $1,000 right now at the moment. But down the line, when you are, using this PC, you can install new case fans. Say you got extra money for Christmas or, a birthday, whatever. You could always just come back and say, okay, I'm just going to install, more case fans. It's not hard to do. It's very easy to install case fans. Just unscrewing stuff, going in the back, depending on how it's wired up. For example, I have a fan controller in one of my PCs. The NZXT build actually has a fan module you can connect all your fans into. If not, you can see if it's connected to your motherboard. Motherboards have fan headers that connect your fans to and stuff like that. And again, if you have any issue, go up, look up YouTube tutorials. There's always YouTube tutorials. And again, if you need to, you can always just buy a separate fan header connected to a SATA port on your on the back of your power supply. To get some power and so on and so on. So we're going to start with default case fans. Again, if you have some money in the future, go ahead and upgrade that. The build we're going to do, it looks like we have an AMD build. And I don't really, I'm not too much against AMD builds. But I'm thinking we're going to go ahead and start this build over because I don't really want to do an AMD build. We did an AMD build yesterday when it came to budget PCs. And I have, again, like I said, I have no issue with AMD. I think AMDs are really, really great. I think it's the whole motto I believe everyone has at this point with AMD is if you want gaming, you go with Intel. If you want design, you go with AMD. I think that's what a lot of people have the mindset of when it comes to AMD. And, okay. Not as much case selection with what we have here, but we can make it work. As I was saying, though, guys, we're going to go ahead and we'll start off with an i5 10400, which is not a bad at all CPU to use. We're going to go ahead and go with that CPU. Actually, wait, let me think. I can't think on the top of my head. It's like 3 a.m. in the morning. This 10600K, I know there's a really good i5 chip. And I forget exactly which one. I don't think it's actually any of these. It might be this one. It might be this one, actually. We're going to go with that one. Not a bad chip, anyway. All right, so let's go ahead and go with our cooling. The one they have selected for us is just a singular liquid cooling, single 120 millimeter radiator fan. I don't really have a problem with that. I think for starting off right away, your base build, that's not a bad way to start off. It's just having one liquid cooling fan. You could go with air cooling. I know a lot of people like air cooling and a lot of people swear by air cooling. I just like liquid cooling because it looks better in my opinion. But again, you can always go with the opposite point of view. Anyway, though, going ahead and taking a look at the motherboard. For this build, we're going to go with the cheapest motherboard possible, but you can always go and upgrade that even more. For RAM modules, I probably would say, and it looks like Intel's a little bit more expensive than AMD. You could probably get a little bit more inexpensive build out of AMD, but it's okay. It's not too bad. We're going to go ahead and go with 3000 megahertz DDR4 RAM here at 16 gigabytes. Again, maybe let's go ahead and go with 8 gigabytes. 8 gigabytes is not bad. You want 16 gigabytes, and preferably you want one chip at 16 gigabytes. Most games nowadays use around the range of 8 to 12, 13 gigabytes. So you would want more than 8, but you go on absolute budget here. And like I said, we are trying to keep this on $1,000. We're going to just go with 8 gigabytes here, but you can always update that for very, very cheap. It's not a bad thing. Now, for our actual graphics card, this is when we're going to go ahead. We're not going to go with Radeon here. We're probably going to go ahead and save, again, like I said, a little bit of money. And I do like the 1660 Super, though. But we're probably going to go with the 1650 Super here. Again, like I said, we're trying to go as much budget options as possible. I'm trying to figure out what's expensive on this PC that we can kind of take back and make it a little bit cheaper, because I don't know if there's going to be anything we can really take off. I mean, at 1128, that's, again, not our budget range. We're trying to stay under $1,000 here. And I don't know if on CyberPower you're going to be able to do it with an Intel build. Like I said, I'm trying to save on $1,000, but with CyberPower, you just simply might not be able to. And you might have to use a, what's it called, type of build. You might have to use AMD, which is not bad. Again, like I said, AMD is not a bad service by any stretch of the imagination, but definitely not what we're trying to go for gaming-wise. We're trying to go for Intel. But let's see on NZXT. We're going to do the same exact concept, and we're going to see what we can do here. So we want a $1,000 build, and this is what, okay, so the cheapest they're going to give us is around $1,168. Interesting. Okay, so let's configure this, and let's see what we can change up a little bit. Can we make this any cheaper? I think this might be literally the cheapest they offer. Yeah, this is probably gonna be, this is literally, okay, so this is cheapest. So NZXT, the cheapest they're gonna give you is around $1,148. For CyberPower, the cheapest we're gonna get is $1,128 if you are going with a Intel processor. If you want to go AMD and you want to go ahead and keep this under $1,000 or close to under $1,000, we could always go with this exact unit I'm talking about right now. And then again, we could go with, and that's actually, this is the cheapest processor we can get AMD wise. Can't get anything cheaper there. And again, you could literally go as cheap as possible. Go air cooling instead of liquid cooling. And this is if you're really on the budget. I'm going to stick with 16 gigabytes of RAM. I can't justify nowadays going to 8 gigabytes of RAM in any capacity. I really couldn't, because yes, you could go 8 gigabytes of RAM, but I just really do not see the point of it. Most games nowadays need 8 gigabytes at least, and 16 gigabytes just gets you through most titles at perfect everything. You don't have any issues in the future. With that in mind, though, we're probably going to go ahead and go with a mechanical drive. I don't like mechanical drives at all. I like having an M.2 drive. I like having M.2. I love SSDs, that fast 10-second boot time. Whew. But, if we are staying to a very, very cheap build, you can always add in an M.2 card or M.2 what card memory after you have this PC built. Like I said, there are certain things you can do with a PC that's not that hard to do. Adding M.2, adding a new graphics card, adding storage, literally not that difficult, and finalizing it off by adding RAM. This is not hard to do. Adding a new case fan, same thing like that. It's not hard. It's really easy things to do. So I'm trying to keep everything like CPU, change your CPU, a little bit difficult. And if you mess up, you break a CPU. And it costs you a lot of money. I know by experience. But again, like I said, guys, it's not too difficult to do some of those things. So there's always times where when you're building a PC, you build it now, and in the future, then you can upgrade it as you get more and more money. With that in mind, that is going to be a PC under $1,000, but I'm going to title this video under $1,200 because, as you saw throughout this video, It's really hard to find, especially how PC parts right now have gone up in value because everyone's trying to scalp them, resell them, make money. It's a really big mess. So at the moment, this is what we got. Thank you guys for watching. Enjoy this video. So like and comment down below. See you guys next one. Peace out.